Ned Stark will be the one to reveal the truth to Jon Snow, just as he has promised he would in the very first season, and we know Ned is a man of his word. That's the theory I'm bringing you in this video. I know that it might sound ridiculous at first, but there are many close hints and evidence supporting this theory. The showrunners decided to reveal to us Jon Snow's true identity in the season 6 finale. Jon is not Ned's bastard, but rather a son of Lyanna Stark and Rhaegar Targaryen. In the season 7 finale, on the other hand, showed reveal Jon's true name, and also finally confirmed that Jon Snow is in fact a legitimate son of Prince Rhaegar and Lyanna, as they were married, and his name is Aegon Targaryen. He's the true heir to the Iron Throne, and he's Dany's nephew. However, Jon still knows nothing, and therefore many fans are wondering how will Jon learn the truth regarding his true lineage, or in other words, who will reveal the truth to Jon Snow. At the end of the last season, Jon and Dany are heading to Winterfell, where Sam and Bran are waiting for Jon to reveal him the truth. Sam and Bran telling Jon the truth is too predictable and too simple to come true, at least in my opinion. I definitely see them trying to reveal it to Jon, but something will most likely get on their way each time they try. For example, Bran might ask Jon to have a word with him in private, but then the horn will be blown, the White Walkers are attacking Winterfell, interrupting their conversation. I do expect something like that to happen. So how will Jon Snow find out who his true parents really are and what his real name is? This is something that Jon will most certainly find out throughout the final season. That's not questionable, but still the question remains, who will reveal the truth to Jon Snow? Quite a long time ago, I delivered you a video about Howland Reed, in which I brought you the possibility of his appearance in the final season, along with the possibility of him being of a huge importance in Jon's life, as I believe that he might be the one to reveal Jon's real identity to Jon. For all of you that are wondering how could Howland Reed be the chosen one to reveal the truth to Jon, let me introduce you to Howland Reed and his importance in Game of Thrones with a few sentences. Howland Reed is the man whose children Mira and Jojen played an important role in Bran Stark's life, a man who saved Ned from certain death, saved Ned Stark who gave his best but couldn't stand a chance against Sir Arthur Dayne's superior fighting skills. This same man, loyal vassal of House Stark, Howland Reed has played a very important role in Stark's life by saving Ned from a certain death. He's playing a very important role because if not for his children, Bran probably would not even have become the three-eyed raven. He would have probably been dead and will doubtlessly play a huge role in the final season, considering that he's among the few that know the truth about Jon's true identity. Bran knows about Jon's parentage due to his ability of having visions of the past, and Sam knows it from the books he's read, but Howland Reed was actually there. Howland witnessed Jon's birth, and that is why I don't see Howland Reed not appearing in the final season. I definitely see Howland having an important role in this huge revelation, but just like Sam and Bran, I don't see Howland revealing to Jon either, but rather confirming it to him. Sure, Bran could share what he'd seen in his vision, or Sam could show him what he's read, or even Howland Reed could tell him the truth as he witnessed it himself. But the only way for the revelation to have its full effect is for Jon to discover it on his own, through the most important person in his life, Eddard Stark. Don't get me wrong, either all three, Bran, Sam and Howland, or at least some of them, will definitely play an important role in this huge revelation, as I definitely see them confirming to Jon the truth he will find out through his father, Ned Stark. Ned might not be his real father, but Ned will always be Jon's father. He's the one who raised him, he's the one who saved his life. Back to the question, how will Ned Stark reveal Jon the truth that he kept through his whole life as he promised he would to his dying sister Lyanna when he's dead? Well, if Game of Thrones has taught us anything throughout these 7 seasons, it's that Ned Stark is man of his word. If Ned made a promise, he will keep it without a doubt. And there's actually this one promise Ned has yet to fulfill. Ned might be dead, but it doesn't mean that he will not fulfill his last promise and be the one to reveal the truth to Jon Snow. The truth which would Sam, Bran and maybe even Howland confirm. This brings us to the crypts of Winterfell, the place where Ned hid a hint or clue for Jon that will reveal to him his true parentage. The crypts have been included in both the books and the show, which along with all the scenes that took place over there in the show and with all Jon's dreams and visions about it in the books, has led many people to believe that there's something about them of high significance to the upcoming plot. So did Ned hit a hint for Jon, and will the White Wolf find out the same hidden object that would reveal to him that he's not Ned's bastard but rather son of Lyanna Stark and Rhaegar Targaryen? Before I focus on a possible object that Ned might have hidden somewhere in the crypts, let's see what facts would have even led Ned to hide it below Winterfell. The crypts are massive and larger than the entire castle complex above ground, making it the perfect spot for something of a huge importance to hide it, as not only it would be hard to find it, but it's also the last place someone would look for. There are only a few people that are visiting the crypts, which this scene from season 5 episode 4 is confirming. As you can see while visiting the Stark family crypts, beside relighting the candle, Sansa also picks up the feather of the floor, which is the same feather Robert Baratheon placed in the hand of a statue of Lyanna in the very first episode of the series. With this being said, it's easy to see why would Ned have hidden something of a huge importance in the crypts. There's most certainly a high possibility that Ned took something from Tower of Joy, something related to the truth about Jon's parentage, and hid it in the crypts. But if Ned truly did hide a hint for Jon, whether it's Rhaegar's widely popular harp or Targaryen's sword or something entirely else, how is it possible that no one accidentally came up to it before? Well, he hid it very well, one would say, but if he hid it very well, how is Jon supposed to find it out? A Song of Ice and Fire gave us a few hints regarding this question. In the books, Jon has recurring nightmares about wandering around the crypts. In the very first novel, in Song of Ice and Fire, while at Castle Black, Jon Snow tells Sam that he sometimes dreams of the crypts. Jon says that he knows he has to go down there, so he walks deeper into the crypts, but is afraid of what he will find within them and awakens every time when the crypts become too dark. So dreams would most likely lead Jon into the crypts. Now let's see which object Ned might have hidden below Winterfell. Many fans are assuming that Jon will either find Dark's sister or Blackfire, which are Valyrian steel swords belonging to House Targaryen. Aegon the Conqueror wielded Blackfire in battle during the War of Conquest, while later it was also wielded by many of the more martial Targaryen kings, which would suit Jon perfectly. However, Blackfire was later given by Aegon the Unworthy to his bastard son Daemon, which eventually removed the sword from House Targaryen's possession as Daemon found in his own lineage, House Blackfire taking the name of the sword. The sword Blackfire remained in the hands of each successive generation of House Blackfire until the line was wiped out. The sword's current owner and location is unknown, but it most certainly is not hidden in the crypts of Winterfell, as its last known location was not even Westeros. Dark's sister, on the other hand, belonged to Visenya Targaryen, the sister wife of Aegon the Conqueror. The sword was allegedly lost during the Blackfire Rebellion and most certainly is neither hidden somewhere in the crypts, even though we might have already seen it in the series. So Jon most certainly will not find the lost Targaryen family sword in the crypts of Winterfell, and it will not be an object that will reveal or confirm to Jon his true parentage. So the question still remains, what could have Ned hidden in the crypts? Taking into account that an object that is supposed to reveal to Jon Snow his true parentage should be Rhaegar's well-known item, there's a high possibility that Ned Stark hid Rhaegar's widely popular harp, and it will eventually confirm to Jon his true lineage. Rhaegar's harp might be one of, if not the only object that Rhaegar could have left in the Tower of Joy with his beloved wife Lyanna Stark. Not only did Lyanna enjoy listening Rhaegar playing harp, but he also most likely did not carry his harp with him while marching in the war. Let me also point out that there has not been any mention of Rhaegar's harp during or after Robert's rebellion. It might be implying that Rhaegar, beside leaving his best friend and the greatest fighter the Seven Kingdoms has ever seen to protect Lyanna and their unborn son, Rhaegar also most likely left his harp with Lyanna in the Tower of Joy as a symbol for Lyanna of his love towards her and promised to return. However, upon Rhaegar's death during the Battle of the Trident and upon Lyanna's death in the hands of Ned at the Tower of Joy, it's possible that Ned took Rhaegar's harp along with Lyanna's corpse and hid it somewhere near Lyanna's statue in the crypts of Winterfell. If Ned truly did hide Rhaegar's harp under Winterfell with intention for Jon to find it someday, where exactly did he hide it? Is it somewhere near Lyanna's statue? I'd place my bet on a tomb no one knew existed. It's Jon's own tomb. As a bastard, Jon is not supposed to get a tomb of his own in the crypts, so Ned would have had one made for Jon in secret. We know that Ned had his empty tomb already prepared before his death. In fact, there are numerous empty, unsealed tombs prepared for not only Ned but also for his children. In the books, Jon often dreams of the crypts of Winterfell, in which he sees the statues of Kings of Winter watching him as he passes by them. Jon sees the Stone Stark King's eyes following him as they tell him he doesn't belong there, which could imply that Jon is in fact already given a place for his own in the crypts. Additionally, Ned has similar dreams of the crypts as Jon, which could be a hint that he has angered the old Kings of Winter by giving Jon a place, even though he's not a Stark but rather a Targaryen. I believe that a tomb was prepared for Jon in the crypts of Winterfell, hidden away in the lower levels. In there it will be Rhaegar's harp and the crown of winter roses Rhaegar laid on Lyanna's lap at the tourney at Harrenhal when he crowned her queen of love and beauty. There might even be a letter written by Ned Stark in which he states that if Jon reads this, it means that he's dead, and that he's sad that Jon learns the truth this way. Imagine the chills we'd all get seeing Jon Snow in the crypts learning the truth while hearing Ned's voiceover explaining everything to Jon. This way Ned would also fulfill the last promise he has ever given. Some of you might say that having a tomb made for Jon with his real name Aegon Targaryen written on it would make us such a big risk for Ned to take, as a stonemason could have told everyone about it for all we know. Ned did not have to take any risk with this because remember, there is no literate stonemason. In case you are wondering, didn't Ned have to keep Jon's parentage a secret as he promised to his sister? The answer is yes. Ned was supposed to keep it a secret from the world, not from Jon Snow, which is why he promised to tell him the truth once they see each other again. Ned kept his promise to his sister Lyanna. He made Jon his bastard son, sacrificing his honor, and he raised him as his own. Ned kept Jon's true parentage a secret. He did not tell anyone, from his wife Catelyn to King Robert. The only reason Ned did not tell the truth to Jon himself earlier is because he had to wait for Jon to grow up in order to understand things and in order to protect him. Not only would it be difficult for Ned to explain to young Jon why he has to keep his true parentage a secret, but it would also be a difficult thing to explain. How to explain to a child that his father is not his actual father, how his aunt is his mother and his grandfather killed his other grandfather and uncle, while he also went into the war against his actual father and grandfather, and your best friend killed his father. His grandfather has also been killed. There's also to explain how his uncle Viserys and then Dany are exiled in Essos. And I almost forgot, you also have to explain to him how he is the true heir to the Iron Throne, but should forget about that as your best friend would have him killed if anyone finds out he's a Targaryen. It's very complicated. All in all, Ned Stark is an oath keeper. He's a man of his word, and therefore I believe Ned will fulfill the last promises given. Ned will talk with Jon about his mother. Ned will reveal the truth to Jon Snow through a letter that is hidden in Jon's secret tomb with his real name written on it. There will also be Rhaegar's harp and Lyanna's crown of winter roses. I might as well be overthinking and Bran or Sam will reveal it to him instead, but it just seems too simple and too predictable for such a huge revelation to be revealed to Jon this way.